Hey everybody, are you ready for some more tranking? This is video 3 and we're going to talk about the truth. The truth. So, what is the truth? Well, we're going to go pretty deeply into the ultimate truth a little later in the training. But for right now, when we talk about ultimate truth, the truth of who we really are, or the truth of really the whole universe, is this idea of unconditional love. And we talked about that a little bit before. That the truth of life on planet Earth is that everything that is made up, that makes up the universe, comes from this concept of unconditional love. So ultimately, that is the truth, and we are going to build on that in some later modules and some later trainings, because it is so critical to what we're doing here. It's really building the structure now that we do have a solid foundation. But the truth I want to talk about today is the truth of the world that we live in, the world where we're playing this game called life on planet Earth. And the world that we're living in now is a world based on space and time. And it is a universe that is defined as dualities, and therefore a universe of relativity. So in a universe based on those dimensions and those concepts, the truth can often just be relative. Your truth may not be my truth, and vice versa. My truth may not necessarily be your truth. So that's why I'm really almost compelled to do this little segment that that I call everything that you hear in this training course comes from my truth. And the beauty of it is that I've seen my truth at work, and it has the results that I've wanted. And that's what I'm doing here, is creating the truths that I've used through my own experimental life, and passing them on to you so that you can use them without going through all the pitfalls that I went through. All the ups and downs and all the obstacles, and save yourself a heck of a lot of time. Because that's what this training is all about, so you can get this stuff faster and easier, so you can implement it and really start using it in your life sooner. So, how do you know something's the truth? Well, here's the bottom line that I've figured out, is that the only real truth in your life is the truth that you've had from something you have experienced. A lot of us try to believe things that people have told us. In fact, all of our lives people have told us things, and they said, and this is the truth. And of course, as soon as you say that, you should go, oh my God, I better. Right now, I always say, I better be aware of that, or beware of it. But what people have told me all my life and claimed as the truth has not been true for me once I put it to the test of my experience. And so I understand that what I'm going to teach you may not be your truth right now. And I want that. I want you to come in here with your own mind and your own idea of what works for you and what doesn't, and then to listen to what I have to say. And if it works for you, then I want you to try it. See, because the only deal is how do you to understand the truth as is true for you. And one thing you can do is use your here's the best way. Use your life as an experiment. And what I want you to do is experiment with experience, because that's the only way you're going to learn your own truth. That's the way I did with my truth. When I came up against this idea, when I got on this path myself, when I got on this journey of self-discovery and self-actualization, and how I could really take my beautiful inner spiritual journey and then create this life that I knew was available to me. The only thing I knew how to do was that, okay, some of the things I've been learning about were new to me. And so the only way I could really see if it worked is to experiment with my life. And that's what I want you to do too. I want you to take this course as an opportunity to experiment with your life. And man, it's so much part of the fun of life. So, I think we talked about this before, but man, this is what it's all about. About having fun. So one of the funnest things you can ever do with your life is experiment with it. And when I say that under the auspices of a controlled experiment, meaning that you are aware that you are experimenting with your life. You know, it's not just some random willy-nilly thing that happened and you go, hey, that's interesting that happened and I really learned something from it. No, here's what I want you to do. I want you to do this consciously. This course is all about consciousness, right? So I want you to take these ideas and experiment with your life consciously and see if they serve you or not. Remember our forward question? Does this serve me? That's what I want you to do with this training here over these next 12 weeks. I want you to experiment with your life. You know, one of my favorite mentors, a fellow I just love and respect, and he has contributed so much to this world, is a fellow named Buckminster Fuller. And you know, Buckminster lived a pretty good life, and he gave us a ton of great stuff to think about and to live life by. He created the geodesic dome. He created actual energy grids around the world that if we just implement them, we would save a ton of energy on this planet. And he's just way ahead of his time. But you know, before he got on that path in his early 20s, he ran into a crossroads in his life. And he says, you know, there's a couple ways I can go. And he says, one of them is I can, you know, just take the easy way out now and kill myself, because that's kind of where he was at the time. I guess, you know, I don't know what the circumstances were, but that was one of his options, and he wrote that down in one of his books. And he said, you know, I have this other option. I have the option of experimenting with my life and seeing if I can really make a difference here on planet Earth. Well, thank God he chose the second option, because the man has served so generously and given this humanity so much treasure. And all he did was he made an experiment out of his life. And that's kind of the concept I want you to take on too. Remember this idea that we keep talking about? This idea of mindset. You know, that's the mindset I want you to start employing. I want you to start thinking about, okay, now how can I experiment with my life in a controlled way so that I really understand what serves me and what doesn't serve me. And that's what I'm going to give you the opportunity to do during the course of this program. For 12 weeks, you're going to be given ideas, and I'm going to show you how to implement those ideas. And of course, it's entirely up to you whether you do so or not. But the reason I asked for you to make an investment in yourself before you joined this course was because with that investment, you have committed to making changes in your life. You know, if you were taking this course for nothing and I told you to make a major change in your life concerning your health or something, and you didn't want to do it because you didn't really care about it, or you wouldn't do it. But you're committed now because you've invested in yourself. Now, that's your experience. Is that your truth? Believe me, from my experience, when I make an investment in myself, all of a sudden, I become more committed. Because I plunk the money down on the table. And, you know, if you want to get something out of it, then you want to do what the teacher tells you to do. And so that's the reason I want to really kind of get this idea that what you're going to hear is my truth. But the bottom line is my truth works for me. Now, it can also work for you, but that is entirely your choice. You know, I've taken the truths that I've found, I've experimented with my life, I've come out the other end, and man, have I been served. In the areas of abundance, I have more money flow in my life. I live in a beautiful property. In areas of health, I went from not being very healthy to pretty much optimal physical health. Man, I run, I jog, I'm just physically fit. I love my body. In relationships, I got the beauty of my life. I live with this beautiful woman. All my relationships are wonderful. I just love my family. It works. It works for me. And it can work for you too if you follow my simple truths. And believe me, I always try to keep them as simple as we can here. So it's a cause and effect universe. And the cause is what you do with your life, and the effect is your life. And the beauty of this is that it's so, I just want to keep harping on this. It is so simple. And you know, what I do, why I want to keep harping on that is because it's a mindset. If your mindset keeps telling you that life's complicated and hard and I have to struggle and do all this stuff, well, guess what? That's what you're going to do. It's cause and effect. But if your mindset keeps telling you, oh man, Blackstone keeps saying it's simple, and you know what? I like the sound of that. So I'm going to try what he thinks. And the mindset of simplicity is its own reward. You know, you lose all the confusion and all that stuff, and so it's just something we're going to build on. You know, this is our first training, our first module, and I'm giving you some heavy stuff to begin with. But you know, you got to start somewhere, okay? Because it feeds on itself. It just keeps getting better and better. The more you live in this kind of stuff, the more you keep thinking thoughts like this, like simplicity instead of complexity, the more idea you have that life isn't all that hard. In fact, once you know the rules, it's pretty easy. Once you kind of get that, then all of a sudden you go, you know, my life's kind of pretty easy right now. Things are flowing to me. And, you know, even though this course is 12 weeks, that's not going to be enough to change all your beliefs and stuff. You have to keep going. That's why this foundation stuff is so important. And, you know, here's the deal. If what I am telling you resonates with you, then ask yourself a forward question and then go with it. You know, and incorporate it into your life and experiment with the experience. And that's what life is all about, is experiences. And so if you want to change the way you're living now and experience something different, you have to experiment with it. But give yourself time. And in order to give yourself time, you know you're going to have to change. You have to change. First of all, everything has to change in the thoughts first. We're going to go deep into that a little later. So keep watching what shows up in your life, because things are going to start changing and shifting. And watch again how you begin to take more responsibility for what's going on with you. Really start becoming aware of this idea that, hey, you know, I am kind of thinking different thoughts. In fact, when a negative thought comes in my head, I don't like it anymore. And so be aware of that. And when that happens, you know, just drop the thought. Go to a positive thought. Always have a backup thought. And I'm going to teach you a lot about that in another segment. But for right now, if you want to go to a real cool backup thought, just... Is it on here? Of course it is. Just always go to love. I do it all the time. I think about love 100 times a day. So that's a real cool tool. So start taking responsibility for what you're thinking, and this idea that the truth in this realm of duality and relativity is really what you want to make of it. But the truth, they say, will set you free, and in ultimate reality, the one truth always falls back on love. And so make that your reality here in this realm of duality. Go to love and let that be your truth. Let love answer all your questions. And like I said, everything that you're going to hear in this course comes from my truth. And it can only be true to me through my experience. It's the only way. And my experience has told me that by following the practices and the strategies that I'm going to give to you in this course, that the cause and effect realm that we live in is going to allow you to take the truths that I know of and create the same kind of results that I'm getting. So if you are really serious about creating your life in a very conscious manner, then I'm going to give you all the tools and strategies to do that. But it's still up to you. I can't implement them for you. But you can have so darn much fun on the way that you want to. And the deal is that once you enjoy this kind of lifestyle, you're not going to go back to fear. It sucks. Not as much fun. Okay, so that's our lesson for this video. What is the truth? And the truth will set you free. So let's go on to the next one, because now we're going to get deep into what I call in the beginning. I love this next one, so I know you'll enjoy it too. This is Richard Blackstone again. I'll see you on the next video, and until then, as always, live in love. Thanks again, everyone.